At many a times whenever we're buying properties, I've actually realized that what normally happens is that you're buying a property and there is no a municipal account on the property that you're buying. And for some of you, you could be wondering, well, what does it matter here? If you're buying a property with no municipality account, it ain't my problem, it's the seller's problem. Well, for some of you, let me just jump into talking about the process that you actually need to do whenever you're buying a house. So we talk about the process, and then I'm going to highlight to you where it is important for you to share the municipality account. Whenever you're buying a house as a seller, you're buying the property, obviously, and there's the buyer, which is me in this case. But when you're buying the buyer, there is a person who's called a conveyancer. The conveyancer is an attorney. And that person now takes in my paperwork of being a buyer and the paperwork of the seller, and which is the title deeds, and they will do the exchange. With that exchange, that's when the money's cross the hands, and that's where if there's banks involved, the banks cross hands there. And out of that, also the municipality at that time, they also cross hands. So the previous person's account is closed and it's paid off, and I also get a new account for my water, for my rents and taxes, for my refuse, and potentially for my electricity as well, depending on the municipality. Right. Now, what then happens if the previous owner does not have an account with the municipality, which means that this person hasn't been billed for rents and taxes, which means that this person hasn't been paying water and electricity? Or does it happen all the time? I'm in November 2020, and this year alone, I have bought 3 properties, yes, 3, that didn't have a municipal account, right? So, how do you do it now? How do you solve for it? And that is what this video is all about. How do you actually solve for a property that didn't have a municipal account when you're the buyer? Right. So number one, obviously, the process still needs to be followed, and for that reason, an account still needs to be opened. So in this case, because the seller does not have an account, the conveyancer now needs to open an account for them, right? I generally prefer to utilize my own conveyancer because then I can dictate what needs to happen. But in many cases, you could be actually heavily reliant now on the seller to go to the council and physically open an account for themselves. So if they are now reluctant about this because now they didn't know all of a sudden, right? And now they also know that they might need to back pay from the time that they actually bought the property. In that case, they might be reluctant now to sell. So for me, that's why I utilize my conveyancer, because I can push the button to my conveyancer and say, let's go, and register that property, because at that time we have all of the FICA documents and we'll engage the council. My conveyancer doesn't really go out and queue at the council themselves. They've got people that they utilize that are called runners, okay? Runners are people that there's like runners everywhere. We queue for you, and you know, and out of that, they will engage the council, given the mandate with the conveyancer, and an account will be opened. But hold on, just because the account is open doesn't mean that now we can do the transfer. Not necessarily so. There might, depending on the municipality, there might be a back bill, right? So let's assume this property here was bought in 1920, right? Not 1920, sorry, like 2010. Let's take it 10 years from now, right? So 2010, this is when the property was bought with the seller. And now the seller is now selling to me as the buyer, but they bought it 10 years ago. And for that reason, they haven't been paying rates and taxes on this time. The credit division, as the council might say, actually, you owe us for the last 10 years, and depending on how much they are selling the property to me, all of that money might go to the council. Well, if they don't do this, what might happen? Well, the council might take possession of the property and auction it, right? That has happened before. So in this case, what they now need to do, obviously, if I'm the buyer here, I'm going to press on my conveyancer to say, let's continue with buying the house. Whatever that they are owing here, the council, is their obligations to make the payment. In some cases, you might realize that the actual seller does not have the money now to make payments of this. If I'm buying this property cash and I know that this money is available, I will tell my conveyancer to release the money from my account so that the deal can proceed. In that case, I have control of the deal, but I will engage with my conveyancer whether it is safe or not safe to do it. And once we have paid for that now, and that's where normally they call that clearance, getting a clearance certificate. So now that the clearance certificate is there, the council has now given you how much you should be paying. At that time, I'll ask my conveyancer, they will settle that. And from there, the clearance certificate will be passed on with the council to my conveyancer, and the conveyancer can take that, take it to the deeds office, and then they register the property into my name. What do I now need to do? I mustn't become like the seller. I should also then now go and open my municipality account. It looks very easy. However, this whole process that I've just spoken about, it can take you anything from a day to sort it out to around about 2 to 3 months to sort it out. And for a person like me who's always buying properties, and you who are also investors buying properties, this dead time can actually be extremely costly, because the cost of money does not stop, it's ticking. And whilst we are doing all of this, my money is not really working for me. So what I do is, whenever I am paying for this, I always put an interest on that money to the seller, because it is their fault. They should have sorted this out before they were selling their house, right? Or whatever property it is. And I'm hoping that this information has been helpful to you. Have you come across a property that you are buying and there is no account on that property? Or maybe there is an account, but the meters on the properties are not linked to that account. How did you resolve for it? If it is any different from what I have mentioned here. And tell us which municipality you are also, which municipality you actually did this from. My name is TJ. It's been great hanging out with you. Your investor of the year 2019. Yeah, that's me right there. Yeah. Have you gone through to my book? I am literally giving it out to you from Bed Debt to Property Mogul. Let me know what you've been learning in the book. It's been great hanging out with you. It's me, TJ. God bless. Cheers. Bye.